Is it possible to be both kind and strong with the people in your life? I believe that yes, it is. And it's something that takes a little bit of work to get right. But if you have the right focus and attitude, it is possible to be both a kind person and a strong person when dealing with others in your life. In this video today, I want to explore the concept of kindness and how it is an important thing if you want to progress in your life, you want to evolve, and you want to be a person of character. I believe that kindness is one of the best virtues that you can cultivate, and that it will bring you great rewards both internally and externally in your life when you're a kind person out there in the world. So what is kindness? Well, kindness, really, if you look it up in the dictionary, it is about being friendly, generous, courteous, words like that. We all know what it means to be kind. If someone is kind to us, we feel a sense of love and harmony with them. If we're kind to other people, we feel good in ourselves. We feel like we've done something that has helped someone else. Aristotle had his own explanation for what he believed kindness was. He said that it was helpfulness towards someone in need, not in return for anything. And that's probably the best definition that I could come up with as well, is that it's when you are generous or courteous or friendly to someone else without any desire for return. You're not trying to get something, you're not trying to convince someone, you're not trying to form a good impression with someone, you're just being kind because it's part of who you are and it's how you would like to be treated in reverse. So why should we even bother to be kind to other people? We could be mean, selfish, we could be a-holes, we could be cruel. Why should we even bother being kind? Well, I believe there are 3 reasons why it's good to be kind. Number 1, it feels good. When you're kind to another person, you get a nice warm fuzzy feeling inside. You feel better about yourself if you're kind to other people. Number 2, it makes life a lot easier. You'll find that if you're kind and courteous and generous, most people respond to you better. You make more friends, you tend to get along better in business. Things just go your way more when you're kind. And number 3, it builds character. One of the toughest things to do in life is to be kind when you don't want to be. When you want to be rude, when you want to be mean to someone, or you want to be cruel and get revenge or something like that. To actually exercise and practice kindness towards another person, it builds your character and temperance. And that's a really important point. I also want to address the idea of kindness and weakness. You know, there's a famous saying from Al Capone, "Don't mistake my kindness for weakness." Now, I don't know if Al Capone is probably the best role model for who you want to be following in terms of your self-improvement, but it has become a very famous saying out there, and it's been used in TV shows and quotes. Different people have said it over the years. The idea that if you are kind, somehow you're weak. This also stems into that idea of being a nice guy or a nice person, being too nice. You know, if you're too kind, then somehow you're weak. Somehow you're not able to stand up for yourself. You're a pushover. I think that yes, that can happen if you approach kindness the wrong way. And we're going to talk about that and look at ways that we can actually reduce the risk of becoming weak while still being kind. So the first way to be kind and strong is to help others to help themselves. You know, very often there is a tendency for us to try to overhelp people, to try and solve their problems for them, to be their savior. And that can be a problem because you're actually weakening the person, you're disabling the person from being the strongest person they can be. Of course, there are times when people are in need, when people just genuinely need your help, but as a rule, you want to find ways to help people to help themselves. I've had this experience in my family, for instance, where people have reached out for me for help with money. And rather than just give them the money, I've helped them to find ways to find the money for themselves. That has been a way to help someone to help themselves. Rather than just giving out too much, being too kind and actually hurting the person over the long term, if you focus on helping someone to help themselves, finding solutions focused that way, you'll find that it's a better way to be kind. You're still helping, but you're helping the person to become stronger in themselves. The second way to be kind and strong is to don't be kind to get something. This is the classic way that you see people kind of sucking up to someone or being fake nice. And this kind of leads into that whole nice guy meme, you know, the idea that someone's just trying to be nice to get their way with someone. Very often we can fall into this trap if we're too kind to people because we're trying to win their affection or we're trying to get their attention or their approval. If you use kindness to try and get these things from other people, you will fail. Kindness should come from a place of wanting to help, not trying to get something from someone else. Don't try to get something from someone else by being kind. And the third way to be kind and strong is to know your boundaries. And I call this one the 49-51 technique. Sometimes when we are too kind, we slip over our own boundaries, the limit of how much we should actually or want to help someone else. We find people take advantage of us because we are kind, whether it's giving too much of our time, too much money, we're listening to someone too long when we're not interested anymore, whatever it is. The way that you can know when you've crossed over your own boundary is to think about it on a continuum between 49 and 51. You should go all the way to 49 in your life. Be willing to be courteous and friendly and generous up to the limit of 49%. But when you tip over the limit of 50%, get into the 51% zone, you'll find that that's when you start to get resentful, you start to get annoyed, and your boundaries start to get pushed. Use your kindness up to the point that it actually helps other people, but it doesn't damage you. Find ways to be clear about how much you will help with people. Say things like, I'm willing to help you to this point, or I can give you this time, but I have to stop by this time, whatever it is. Give a clear indication of how much you will help and make sure you are riding that line so you're not going over 50%. By doing this, people will respect you more, they won't push the boundaries with you, and they won't expect you to always be there and always taking more of your time or your resources or your energy when you don't want to give it to them. The final thought that I want to share today is that kindness displays power. The strongest people in the world are those who exercise kindness and show that they are actually able to control themselves and to be nice and to be generous and to be friendly to people, even though the situation may not warrant it. Over the long term, those who display kindness do get further ahead in the world. It might appear that someone is mean or cruel or selfish and they seem to be getting ahead. But I promise you, my friend, over the long term, the people who are like that, who use that kind of approach to life, end up alone, they end up losing. Whereas if you as a person decide to be kind, to build your character, that demonstrates true power to the world. It's not easy to do. It's something that I still struggle with every single day of my life. But I always remember that kindness displays power. And that is the key to being kind and strong. Come from a place where you want to be kind because it's part of who you are. It's not to try and get something. It's not to try and manipulate people. And it's there because you want to be a kind person. That's how you would like to be treated in the world by other people. Display the behavior that you would like to see in the world, and it will come back to you tenfold. That's been my experience, and I'm sure if you practice being kind and strong, it will happen for you as well. Hopefully these ideas have been valuable for you. Please leave a like on this video if you like what I'm doing here, and share your comments below about becoming a kind and strong person. I'm curious to hear your experiences and how you've used the ability to be kind in your life. And if you like what we're doing on this channel, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you as part of our community. My name is Daniel Midson-Short. Thanks for watching, and as always, thank you for improving yourself.